Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we are talking about 5 reads that you need to add to your summer reading list. We definitely have a variety here, and they're not even all based in the summertime, but something about them feels cozy and warm and still gives off really awesome vibes for the summer. So without further ado, let's get into it. Alright, first off we have Firefly Lane by Kristen Hanna, and it seems like it would be like the perfect summer book, which I do think it is, because it's called Firefly Lane, so like you would think that maybe it's based in the summer, but it really has a long like storyline. Like you start in the 70s and then it goes until the present day. And so you really get like many years, many seasons of what's going on in this book, but just something about like the coziness and the like intimacy between like the friendship. It just, I don't know, it just seems like such a great summer read, and it really like sucks you in. So like if you have like a really long car ride or you're just like at the beach all day, like this is one where you can really like get swept away. And Kristen Hanna's writing is so like descriptive, and she like helps you really like get into the moment and get into that like setting. And I don't know. So this is the first one. It's about Tully and Kate, who have been best friends since the 70s, and they met when they were in like middle school, high school time. I can't remember exactly, but it just kind of follows their friendship throughout life, their relationships, their jobs, like all the different things. You've probably heard me talk about this book a little bit before, but it is just honestly such a great read. And I feel like for summer, like the coziness of the relationship between the two characters is just like really heartwarming, and it's a perfect read for the summer. Little bit of a warning though, if you don't like to cry, don't read this because you will cry a lot. There's really no getting out of that. And yeah, so definitely give this one a read if you haven't. All right, next up we have Passion Project by London Sperry. And this one is based in the summer. Like this is honestly quintessential summer read right here. Everything, it's based in New York City, which is really fun. I really enjoyed this book. It was super funny. It's about our main character, which I can't even remember her name. Let's see. Bennett Taylor. Yes. Okay. So her name is Bennett, and she feels like she has like no purpose in life, and just feel like she doesn't have a lot of passion in her life. So she ends up meeting this guy who kind of throughout the summer takes her on all these little like missions or little projects, and they call it their passion project, and they just like try to discover something that she's passionate about. So it takes place throughout like one summer, and they talk about the weather and just like the atmosphere of New York City in the summertime. And it really is like such great vibes for the summertime, especially like if you live in the city or you just love like city vibe type of books. Cannot go wrong with this one. This was a book of the month pick. I read this in one of like my very first videos that I released. And yeah, so I stand by this. Great read. What summer reading list would be complete without a thriller? So we have The House Across the Lake by Riley Sager. And I didn't read this one in the summer, but I remember thinking like the whole time while I was reading it that this would just be like the perfect summer read. So our main character, Casey Fletcher, retreats to her house on the lake for, I don't know, I can't even remember if it was in the summer, but it's on the lake setting. So like, I don't know, the vibes are still there. So you have them like going boating and like sitting on the deck and drinking wine and all of that stuff. And so anyway, the vibes are really good. And I just feel like you need a thriller, like a good thriller in the summertime. So like this would definitely be the one. I really want to read more thrillers the rest of this year, especially going into the fall too, and another perfect time to read them. I don't have a ton of experience with like a lot of thrillers, but I do remember being like kind of, I like thought I knew what was going to happen the whole time, and then it really kind of threw me off at the end. So like honestly, like you can't go wrong with this one either. It's definitely a page turner, but it's also not like too scary either. So if you're like a little bit afraid, like you don't have to be that afraid. There's a lot more like mystery going on in this one than like there's no like gore or anything like in some of his other books, like Final Girls, for example. But this one is really great, and you guys should give it a try. Alright, next we have Happy Place by Emily Henry. I don't have this physical copy. I got it from the library when I did read it, and I read it last summer. And everything about, I've said this before about Emily Henry, like her writing is really great at like describing the scene and just like making you feel like you were really there. She just really like immerses you into that. So this trip is like this perfect like kind of summer trip with her friends in Maine. The brief synopsis is that her and her fiance actually have broken up, and they haven't told their friend group yet. So they still go on like their yearly friend group trip, and no one knows they've broken up yet. So they kind of pretend to be dating, or pretend to be engaged, I should say. And it all kind of accelerates from there. But they go to like the fair and the movies and walking around town, and they swim in the lake. All right, I am back. My camera battery died, so I had to replace that. So I think where I left off is that Emily Henry is amazing at describing like the atmosphere of the setting and really like immerses you into it. So definitely cannot go wrong with Emily Henry. I feel like most of them take place in the summertime too, but Happy Place and Beach Read too, I just feel like are really great like summer ones that you can't go wrong with. I didn't have Beach Read on this list, but Beach Read is definitely another amazing summer read. All right, lastly, our summer reading would not be complete without including an Ellen Hilderbrand. And right now I'm reading The Hotel Nantucket, and the last few weeks I've been kind of in a book slump, so I've been reading pretty slow, I feel like. But the one I wanted to include in this list is one that I read last summer, and that is The 5-Star Weekend. And I know that for a lot of you like book girlies, like you know Ellen is like the queen of beach reads, the queen of like a great summer read. But this one in particular just really was so fun to read. Like all of her books are just filled with so much drama and secrets, and it's just like so satisfying to read. Not to mention they're all based in Nantucket, like on the island too. So like you really get like the summer beachy vibes in all of her books. And this one is talking about like she gets 5 friends from different aspects of her life, and she brings them all together for like one really fun weekend. And it's kind of like a little vacation for all of them too. So if you like books that are kind of like getting away from normal life and doing like kind of things and activities that like don't usually happen like in a normal book that like follows the life of someone, this is kind of like gives that vacation vibes, similar to Happy Place kind of gives those same vibes where they're all kind of getting away and taking a trip. So if you like those kind of vibes, you definitely will like The 5-Star Weekend. It won't disappoint. I believe I rated it 4 stars. Maybe not 5, but I'm pretty picky with my 5s, but it was like I was a high 4 stars, so you really can't go wrong with her. And yeah, those are 5 books that I would definitely recommend reading this summer. I know we're like already halfway through July, like how in the world did that even happen? I feel like yesterday was the 4th of July, and before that it was like the end of May, and now all of a sudden we're like halfway through summer. But if you haven't put these books on your list yet, or you're kind of getting through your summer TBR and you need to add a few more, these are definitely ones that you should add. I am currently reading I'm currently reading The Hotel Nantucket by Ellen Hilderbrand, which could, I'm sure, definitely go on this list too, but I'm not that far into it, so I don't want to like include it yet. We have some honorable mentions too that I also wanted to bring up. So yeah, let's go over those now real quick. All right, real quick, I just wanted to mention Safe Haven. So many of Nicholas Sparks' books are like based in the summertime, and most of them are based in North Carolina and kind of like near the water and everything. So the atmosphere is always really great for the summer. And this is one that I have seen better days, like this specific copy, because I've read it a few times and I've lent it to a lot of people. This is honestly one of my favorite books. So I know I said this was an honorable mention, but I just can't help but mention this one a little bit further on. The main character has some things that happened to her in the past that she's kind of running away from. And yeah, it just kind of shows her kind of restarting a new life in this like beach town. So it's a really great read. It's obviously romance, but it's really suspenseful, honestly. And if you've seen the movie, it is similar to the movie, but this one is much better, and it does not end the same way. So definitely read the book. Last honorable mention I want to bring up real quick is Station 11 by Emily Mandel. And it's been a really long time since I've read this, but I think one of the things about the books that I'm choosing is that I personally read them a lot of times in the summer or in good weather. And so they've kind of stuck with me as like summer reads. This is actually an apocalyptic situation. If I remember right, it follows a group of like artists and musicians that call themselves like the Traveling Symphony, and it shows them kind of like moving from settlement to settlement. But it's honestly a great read. It'll really suck you in. And it's a Michigan author, I believe. So I'm from Michigan, so I think that's pretty cool too. All right, so that is the list. I would love to know what you guys have been reading this summer. What else is left on your summer TBR? And if I left out anything really good that should have been on this list, please let me know. And if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe and like this video, and I will talk to you guys soon. See ya!